Hello and welcome to today's video topic all about our feet. And it's going to be not only on feet relieving exercises and techniques, but we're also going to be addressing root causes of how to address feet pain, and specifically in a lot of common feet pain relation and symptoms. So we're gonna get right into it, and I'm gonna be talking about the first step, which is going to be the PNF techniques and relief portion of this video. So getting blood flow back into our body for the feet, you can either use 2 roller balls or lacrosse balls or tennis balls if you have them, or using a tool. I got this from Trigger Point, but it is specifically a foot roller, and you can find this at your local, I think, general store has it, like sports stores, or you can find it online. But I really love this foot roller because it gets really deep into the feet, and especially if you have a lot of feet related symptoms and pain, I would highly recommend investing in one of these. And if you're someone who does sports, really essential for this. But if you have 2 roller balls or lacrosse balls as well, you can find these same kind of ideas, but it's going to be a little bit different. You can stack your balls here. Imagine it's like one big foot roller, and you can move your roller balls like so. And the pro for having roller balls over the foot roller can be that you can actually go 360 circles in these and kind of find a nice position here, right? You can kind of find it more internally and rotate in circles. Rather, this one, it's a little bit harder to perform circles. You can go side to side with this and gets a little bit deeper, especially if you want to bring a little bit more pressure, tension. If you have excessive pain, I wouldn't recommend lifting your hips off the floor for this one. But if you do have a tolerable pain, or if you just have muscular pain, I would highly recommend just lifting your hips up and getting a little bit deeper there. You can also find more relief more internally or externally, or more in the center, depending on where your pain lies or tension. It doesn't have to be pain, but just general tension. And once you find it, holding it down for a minimum of 30 seconds and upwards towards 90 seconds. Again, 10 seconds for your fascia lining to release, and 20 seconds for your blood flow to kick back in. Once we finish the roller ball or foot roller, we're gonna go ahead and come out of it. The next step, we're gonna find a trigger point that's releasing for our big toe and the muscles that surround it. So we're gonna go ahead and take your opposite hand thumb, and we're gonna find a position right under and next to your big toe. And you're gonna find that when you rub your hands and your fingers right along the front of your toes, you're gonna notice that you're gonna feel individually, there's like bones, right? Bones, and then you're gonna feel that fascia muscular tissue. We're gonna get right into that meaty portion of your muscles that are directly related to trigger point for our toe, big toe. But what's great is that you can also release some anxiety through this trigger point as well. So once you find a good position here for the opposite thumb, we're gonna go ahead and take the index finger and the thumb, and right here, we're gonna go ahead and pull the big toe out to the side. So simultaneously pressing down into the crevice of the big toe and the front line of the fascia. We're gonna go ahead and pull the big toe out to the side internally. Exhale here, and then inhale, turn back into center. Now, if this feels really bad, like in a way that you feel numbing and tingling sensations, please stop and do not do this. But if it feels good, like you feel a nice relief in the adductor hallucis muscle, we call it, this one should feel really good, especially if you are a person who wears high heels a lot or wears a lot of constricting footwear, like leather shoes that don't have a lot of give, or just if you wear boots a lot, those can be very constricting as well. If you don't have barefoot shoes, you might have some tension spots like this. Even if you do wear barefoot shoes, you might feel some tension spots here. So coming into, again, 8 to 10 reps for all strengthening exercises, and working up to 3 rounds. Again, 1 round can be enough for some people, but if you like to continue on and see improvement in results, if you do have actual pain, muscular pain, then doing it for 3 rounds. And after you finish that, we're gonna go ahead and come into a nice stretch and release for our front line that connects through our shins and our ankles as well. So as y'all know, a lot of your foot pain can be related to not only our heels and our soles of the foot, but also through our ankles and our shins. So we're gonna go ahead and come into a half kneeling position like I am currently, or you can do this on a bench surface or a chair and do it in a seated position, just bringing your toes down onto the floor in a seated position. But we're gonna go ahead and inhale when the toes come into the floor, pushing down, releasing into the front of the shins here, and then exhaling to bring the toes back. You can either use your hands to push your toes back towards you, or you can just flex it. Hold for a second, exhale, and then inhale to press, and really feeling that front line stretch and coming into this number right here. After you finish those exercises, we're gonna go ahead and come into, you can either use a towel, just a regular towel that you have at home, or you can use a band like this. And we're gonna go ahead and bring your band underneath your feet here. So we're gonna go ahead and take more of the extra leftover band, and we're just gonna hold it so it's a nice resistance against your foot here. So ideally, you wanna make sure that when it's in the floor, when your foot is against the floor, that the band doesn't move, right? For my friends who actually have some restriction here and strength restriction, you're gonna find that you have a lot more space here, right? And you're gonna find that the band doesn't necessarily come down directly in contact with the bottom of your foot. So if that's the case here, you really want to make sure you adjust so that the band can come into a position where you're connecting it down onto the floor, or you're going to internally rotate your foot so that you can continue to hold the band in. And you want to make sure that the big toe is pressed down onto the floor here, and you're keeping a light tug into your resistance band here. We're going to internally rotate here, hold for a second, and then bring it back into neutral. Relax a little bit. And then again, coming back into internal rotation, so coming down towards your big toe here to the side, and then back into the center. Now, we're gonna go ahead and take this up a notch. We're gonna, again, keep tugging here. We're gonna bring just the big toe down, so press your big toe down. Your toes, your all 4 toes are gonna lift up. Doesn't have to be excessive lift. The main thing here is just isolating into the big toe, and then relax. And then again, press the big toe down onto the floor, lift the all other 4 toes off the floor, and then relaxing down. What you're gonna be feeling here is automatically you're gonna feel an engagement in the front of the shins. So a lot of the times your shins can be either tight or need some strengthening, or both. So making sure that you feel the activation here in your ankle and shin area, but also you feel this strongly in your internal rotators that support that big toe, which is your adductor hallucis muscles. I can't even pronounce it correctly, but you already know the drill. So it should be all here and here. And the last exercise I'm gonna recommend is to bring either, this is actually a little bit bigger than I'd like, but bringing a fabric or elastic band on your big toes here. And you're gonna find a nice position so you can go ahead and open and close the band just on the big toe. So you can recline yourself back into a seated position here, support yourself by your palms behind you, open your band out to the side with your just big toes connected here, exhale here, and then inhale back into neutral. We're essentially correcting the muscle groups to actually engage when it's supposed to be doing. So it's gonna be kind of angry at you, and you might find that you cramp a little bit, which is fine. Again, if you start to cramp excessively, just take some water and just rest. But again, you wanna, try to shoot for 8 to 10 reps. If you can only do it 1 time, no worries at all. But once you get used to the motion, you should start to feel that your body is getting used to the motions, and you feel that nice activation and strengthening through the sides of your feet, which a lot of times, a lot of people experience symptoms that arise either in the ankle pain, shin pain, or again, that result in more of your feet pain. And some people feel it more excessively in the heels, and some people might feel it more in the front line of their feet. Either way, I hope that this video was helpful for someone out there for experiencing feet pain, and hopefully you can find a source of relief from any of the techniques of releasing or strengthening. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one. Have a wonderful day.